On May 25, 1968, in Preble County, Ohio, a group of children made a discovery in a wooded area that would leave investigators searching for answers for decades. The remains were scattered. A skull located separately from the body. No clothing. No personal belongings. At the time, investigators worked with limited forensic tools. Based on early analysis, the remains were believed to belong to a woman between the ages of 30 and 50. That conclusion shaped the direction of the case, and for decades, it led investigators away from the truth. With no matches to any missing persons reports, the case went cold. The unidentified individual was buried, and over time, the case faded into obscurity.
Welcome to Case Files of the Missing, where the search for answers does not end with time. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
More than 50 years later, advances in forensic science reopened the investigation. In 2019, the remains were exhumed in an effort to extract DNA. Initial attempts failed due to the condition of the remains. But investigators continued. Eventually, a viable DNA profile was developed and submitted for forensic genealogy analysis. That's when everything changed. The DNA revealed that the individual was not female, but male. For decades, investigators had been searching for the wrong person. Once the correct biological profile was established, genealogical research quickly led to a name: Albert Allen Frost. Albert Allen Frost was born on January 25, 1935, the youngest of 8 children. His life was unstable. He moved frequently, rarely stayed in one place, and often had no fixed address. Records show multiple arrests for theft-related offenses, suggesting a pattern of survival-driven behavior. He served in the United States Army and was known to wear his military jacket regularly. But beyond that, Albert lived on the margins. To some, he was troubled. To others, especially family members, he was someone who lived freely, unrestricted by expectations. Then, sometime between 1963 and 1964, Albert disappeared. No report was filed. No investigation began. And over time, his absence went largely unrecorded. The condition and location of the remains suggest that Albert did not simply pass away and remain undiscovered. He had been buried, a shallow grave, an attempt to conceal what happened. Years later, environmental conditions exposed the remains, bringing them back to the surface where they would eventually be found. But without a correct identity, the truth remained buried for decades longer. Albert Frost was not the only member of his family to vanish without explanation. Years earlier, his sister, Clara Frost, disappeared in the early 1950s. She was just 22 years old. She left behind 2 children, and like Albert, she was never located. Her case remains unsolved to this day. 2 siblings, both gone, both without answers. The parallels raise questions that investigators have never been able to fully resolve. The name Albert Frost also appears in connection to another long-standing case: Mary Jane Van Gilder, a woman who disappeared in 1945. Decades later, investigative work into her case revealed a connection to Albert Frost, linking him to another unresolved disappearance. These overlapping timelines create a complex web of unanswered questions. Was Albert connected to multiple events? Or was he another missing piece in a larger story that is yet to be fully uncovered? Albert Frost has now been identified, but the circumstances surrounding his death remain unresolved. There are no confirmed witnesses, no confirmed timeline of his final days, and no clear explanation of what led to his burial. After nearly 60 years, the most important question still remains: what happened to him? Albert Allen Frost is no longer unidentified. His name has been restored. His story has been brought back into the light. But his case is not closed, and neither are the questions surrounding his family. If you recognize the name, if you remember anything from Ohio in the early 1960s, or if you've heard details that were never reported, even the smallest detail could matter. Because cases like this are not solved by time alone. They are solved when someone speaks up.
This is Case Files of the Missing, where the search for answers does not end with time. For more intriguing missing person and cold case stories, please like, comment, and subscribe.